What was you finna say? Nothing. Should have gave me all the instructions before I record. We live now. It's over.
It's over. So it's in God's hands at this point. Okay?
Jesus grabbed the wheel.
Jesus grabbed the wheel because, niggas be traveling, niggas be forgetting chords, but, we figure out a setup either way. Luckily, I'm in LA with Matthew's sister and fiance, and they do music. And so, we got a new little mic.
Shorty got the road situation, got the whole ass.
I got a whole filter on this bitch.
Like, listen, let's hear some bars, Courtney. Let's go.
Look, don't tempt me, okay?
Let's go.
Don't tempt me, okay?
I love it. How y'all feeling? It's another episode of the Runners Club podcast.
Oh, right. Yeah.
We here. We with it. It's in. It's LA Courtney. You feel me?
Yeah. I'm LA Courtney.
Yeah, LA Courtney with it. How you feeling? How that sun treating you? You look at you got a little tan. What's going on?
No, this is just a glow because I woke up this morning because it's actually 8:25 a.m. in LA right now. So I just got up. I just washed my face. This is that like serum glow. Trying to get as much sun as I can while I'm here for the week. Enjoying it. The sun is different. The air is different. The freaking vegetation is different. Went on a walk the other day and it was like, wow, what is that flower? Wow, look at that tree. It's blooming and it's purple. It's just crazy. Giving me life. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
I love it. I'm with you though. I've been up since 4:45 a.m. You know what I'm saying? I met Rosalie and Christine at the track for a speed workout. That was fun. Came home, did lower body strength, and then I just fucking lollygagged around the house talking to Bay on FaceTime, ate breakfast, and then I took a shower like 6 minutes ago.
Word. Yeah, you still got that do-rag on, so you laying something down.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't trying to do no waves, but
you getting something together underneath there.
Your boy been using a number 2 guard on his head, so I need the do-rag to help me lay it down a little bit more. Give it that look, give it a little pressure.
Lay it down.
You feel me? I love it. Did you get any miles while you've been out there? You just been on some chilling?
I haven't ran yet, but I did get a few miles in. I think about like 3-4 miles yesterday on my walk, doing some, but the thing is a walk in LA is not a walk in Chicago. Like you're going incline a lot. You're like, walking in the streets of LA is like going on a hike.
Oh my God.
Like there's always going to be ups and downs and you're like, it's just not a simple stroll. It's like, I started to feel it in my glutes a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, it's because I know LA is huge. Like, do you feel comfortable sharing what part of LA you in?
I'm around the Miracle Mile is what it's called. Which is hilarious because there's one in Chicago.
That's the Magnificent Mile.
Right. Just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Miracle Mile is what's in LA and it's cute. It's a mix of people out here. It's close. Like there's not a lot of neighborhoods that are walkable in LA, which is something that I'm like kind of.
Wow. What does that mean?
Like you can't just it's really special when you find a neighborhood that you can walk out your front door and like go to Target. Go to the grocery store. You usually have to in your car and like then go somewhere. So
and that's wild because it's sunny as hell.
It's walkable. Yeah. It's sunny as hell, but then at the same time it's very residential and neighborhoody to the sense where but it's so spread out. It's so spread out that like you have to get in your car most of the time.
Yeah, that's wild because I just feel like it should be more like It just feels to me like LA California just period should be more neighborhood centric and walkable and chillable because it's year round decent ass weather. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. That sounds wild to me. I haven't been to Cali, so I need to get out there and see what's popping.
I would love for you to come out to Cali and for me to see it your first time out in Cali. Like I want to be here when you first land and start talking shit.
Oh yeah, you already know
and
I'm coming
still
out
come
there.
back tan. You know, like talking hella shit.
Hell yeah, we got
downtown of LA versus the downtown of Chicago. That's the whole thing everybody's talking about. Only Chicago people go to other cities and then
I was just going to say that.
Okay, yeah. I get it.
Yeah, we judging.
Different. Y'all had the first skyscraper, Chicago,
and been doing it big ever since
on that shit. Mm-hmm. They want to be consistent, and I get it.
We the blueprint. All these other cities got to get it together. You like, oh, we downtown. Nigga, what? This is like Hyde Park. What is you talking about? Like, this ain't downtown. Like, come on.
Like,
you say what?
Don't ever come to Minnesota.
Oh yeah, Minnesota got a strip, right?
No, I mean it's a downtown. It's not like just a thing. We have buildings. We have skyscrapers.
Do y'all have a skyline?
Yes. I'm going to see, this is why I said you can't come because you already talking shit.
I'm inquiring. Inquiring minds would like to know. They're like a skyline. Would they put show downtown on a postcard?
Yes.
You sure it's not a bridge?
We have really beautiful buildings. Yeah, it's the whole thing. I'll send it. I'm just saying, I don't need, look, Minnesota got it. It's the Minneapolis, okay? It's got things happening. The vibrant artistic community, you know what I mean? The vibes is right out there. You just gotta,
Do you want us?
You can't come in hating. You cannot come in hating with the heat.
Do you want us to cut that take out? Do you want us to cut the Minneapolis take out?
No, because that's what they say.
Sure?
That's what they say.
Are you sure? Are you gonna stand behind that? You gonna stand on that Minneapolis?
That's what they call it. I'm telling you. I'm not saying, I mean, look, it's as far as biggest city in the country, right? It's New York, LA, then Chicago. So also when you talking shit, if you come to LA, just know LA is bigger than Chicago at the end of the day. It's bigger. It's just different.
Since when? When did that happen?
Since for a long time.
I don't recall.
Chicago's the third largest city, not the second. Look it up. Look it up.
Are they including like mountain ranges and like bobcats out there? Like,
it's not just space. It's
what are they counting?
Like, it's also
the Hollywood sign don't count.
It's not just space landmass. It's about like the economy as well, the population, and LA's.
They ain't got no water
on that. There's literally the ocean.
Yeah, but you can't drink that shit.
I mean, yeah, like it's a desert.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
That from
Chicago got water.
Back the information that I literally told your ass.
I go sit down at a table. They make sure I don't see the bottom of the glass. Is all I'm saying.
Matter of fact, let me go get my water.
Be careful. Sip it. You got to pace yourself, LA.
Talking shit.
No.
I don't know why I have this energy today. I really don't. I'm actually really happy right now. The sun has been giving me life. I really do love LA.
Some vitamin D.
All the vitamins.
I love it.
I'm enjoying life. Life is good.
I love that. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you, man, because I'm feeling real good. Me and my babe was talking this morning. Mm-hmm. And she was telling me, because, she be concerned for me. You know what I'm saying? She be like, yo, I just want to make sure you healthy and you good. And I'll be like, baby, relax. I got this. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to let you know. Niggas just doing shit out here. But no, so I have been for real about like running and strength training and doing this shit 5-6 days a week, like my daddy said. You know what I'm saying? Like I am, you know what? Like
you look a little tired, though. I'm not so. I see it in your eyes. You're putting in work, but are you?
Oh yeah.
Are you resting?
Yeah. No, see, I made a mistake last night. I stayed up. I was watching a little bit of extra anime, knowing damn well I had to be up at 4:45 this morning. So I'm gonna pay for it around 3 p.m. I'm gonna be at the store slumped. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's supposed to rain today. Don't nobody really buy running clothes on rainy days. I don't know why, but like.
So you gonna be there?
I'm gonna be there. Slumped.
Right.
I need to replace that stool with a chair with a back in it.
Yeah, you need a massage chair or something.
But she was just like, make sure you get your rest days. You training hard. I don't want you no injury. And I'm like, and I had to tell her like, yo, like one, I benefit right now from not having a race and stuff like that. Two, I've been running for 4 years. And the only time running has been challenging for me is my first marathon training. And what I have realized through wearing like my Fitbit, Strava, even with the Whoop stuff, is that all of the running I've been doing in between my first marathon and now, I have been maintaining my progress. I haven't truly been like pushing myself forward. So I don't know what my upper limits are. I don't know if 6 days a week, off and on strength training, upper body on Monday, lower body on Tuesday, through the rest of the week, plus my regular running schedule is actually too much for me. I'm trying to see. And if it is, I can adjust because I don't have that crunch or that pressure of performing at a race. And so that's just where I am right now. It's just
finding your limits.
Balls to the wall right now, like lifting, doing it all until I achieve some goals or I find out where my upper limit is. Where's the upper room?
Right.
You feel me?
I'm here for it.
So
do we have a guest today?
We're supposed to wait on
check that participant little situation at the bottom.
I checked the participant joint. It say 2. Ain't nobody that popped up talking about waiting in the room.
Where you at?
They be mad late. Nah,
mad late. No, I'm just saying. No, you're not late.
No,
but we. Yeah.
But
no. She's hopping on at 8:45.
Oh, okay. Cool. Listen, we can talk.
So continue.
I mean that's my piece because that's where we at with it. Like when I tell you, like at 33, your boy trying to be in the best shape of his life. That's where I'm at with
When's
it.
Your birthday?
April 5th. You was there.
Yeah, you turned 33?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking about when I turned 33.
No, I am. I'm a whole ass 33 right now. Like
he's in his Jesus year, y'all.
You feel me? So I'm trying to make a miracle. You feel me? That's what I'm trying to do.
I'm trying to part seas, you know what I'm saying?
Listen. And so I do have a race at the end of the year. I'm trying to do with Aaron, but that's we all know that. It's been
part of the conversation. We know buildable.
Yeah, but that's like it's slow though. So I'm not trying to like run it fast. I just gotta like I feel like those ultras, that long distance stuff, it has a lot to do. Of course, be in shape, train well, prepare for it, but it's so mental.
Yeah,
you gotta have the willpower to really push through those kind of
mental endurance.
You feel me? So, and I'm in abundance of that. I feel like.
I know that's right.
I'm in abundance.
I feel like I learned mental endurance before I even got into running, and that's
How
why
was that? From where? Where do you think that's from?
Honestly, from working and just. I've always been the type of person where I just like push through shit.
Yeah.
But that's just how I was raised. Like you just push through that shit, and then when it's done, it's done. But if it's not finished, you continue pushing through it. Yeah. There's a balance there that I've had to learn, obviously, because it can get unhealthy. But ultimately, I've been definitely raised with the mentality of like, no, if you start it, you finish it. If it's hard, then maybe take a breath for a second, but that doesn't mean we're stopping. So push through. Mental endurance.
I love that. I love that because it does. I think it does come from a lot of places. I mean, I don't think I would be where I am right now if it wasn't for that mental toughness and stuff like that. Because especially with running a business, because last year with the marathon was mentally, emotionally draining, just preparing and doing so much, and then. This year with, trying to elevate my business to another level, learning what I did right and wrong from my first year and trying to adjust so I can, stay in business has been really, really mentally tough and exhausting. But like you say, like you gotta get up every day and you gotta show up and you gotta like keep knocking down those tasks. I make time for myself. Like I said last night, me watching my little anime, is what helped recharge my batteries. This weekend had Julius, August, and Zuri in here, and that recharged my batteries. So, making that time and giving myself that mercy to not touch work. So then when I'm on that work, when I got that work in my hands, I'm willing to really devote all of my attention and energy into complete whatever task is necessary. So,
yeah. Love that.
So, how we feeling? We need an update. Where the hip at? Yeah, where's your hip at with it?
Oh, my hip. Yeah. I'm like, I talked to Coach Robin. I don't know if I said this on here already, but I talked to Coach Robin about running where, first of all, Coach Robin has been my coach for a minute, but then I've never had the experience of having a coach. So I never really understood the right type of communication I needed to have with a coach and when to communicate or just when and how. Cause again, I wasn't I played sports in school, but I wasn't an athlete like that. And in a way that that was my life. It was I played volleyball in high school and, did some cross country skiing and that was it. And, group sports. And so I kind of told Robin, her and I connected and then and she was just yeah, you can run, cause I feel good running, but then at a certain point, that's when I start feeling it. And so a couple of weeks ago, I was running with the crew on Promontory Point and I was doing the 3 mile. About 2 miles in, I started feeling it in my hip. And then as I started going from 2 to 3 miles, that's when I started feeling that sensation going from my hip down to my knee, wrapping around my knee. And so I had to kind of maintain and keep it slow. And she just said, Coach Robin suggested that okay, first of all, don't run too slow because then your posture, your form starts to fall apart. And then, so she's you don't want to be running slower than a 10. You probably should be between 9 and 10. And she's run 7 minutes and then walk for 3 and then run 7 minutes and then walk for 3, do a run walk. And I forgot, even with obviously the certification that I have, I'd be forgetting stuff, and sometimes I need things told to me. I need a coach just as much as anybody else. And so that's where I'm at. I'm doing the run walk. I'm exploring that and also going for a lot of walks. And as I walk, just actively walking in a sense that I'm thinking about my form and thinking the way, how I'm functioning, my body is functioning, because I think walking is really underrated. Because it is an opportunity to just slow it down to and really tap into your movement. And yesterday's walk was an hour and a half.
That's a walk. That's a whole ass walk.
That's a whole fucking. I walked around a whole ass. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then at the end, I was ooh, I feel this shit loose in my hamstrings because you walking up hills in LA, on the regular, walking up and down. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. Just trying to keep slow. Also really working on mobility. When I go to the gym, I start with mobility before I even hop on a treadmill or bike. And I've also been doing the rowing machine a lot just to really get the upper body movement when I'm doing some cardio, obviously doing weight training and stuff, but I'm going to tap more into that, dabbling in the thought of should I do Pilates? Should I do yoga? I definitely want to add that to my routine, but budgeting comes first. Because I can't be spending money crazy on all this stuff. Yeah, I have to do it smart. And I think that's another thing too. Where it's just yeah, I know I could be going to a physical therapist every other day or whatever. And then getting a massage once a week. But it's who's going to pay for that?
Right.
You going to pay for that? Okay.
Right.
No, I didn't think so. So it's just I need to budget shit out. I have a lot of expense. I'm going through a lot of transitions and a lot of those transitions cost money. And so I need to just be conscious of what I'm spending where. And I do want to get to a place where I can be doing all the recovery and all that shit. But I need to figure out how to do a lot of it at home and DIY. So I'm taking a lot of Epsom salt baths. I'm doing a lot of mobility, like I said. I'm doing a lot of stretching, a lot of soaking, a lot of like heat therapy, a lot of like making sure that I'm massaging myself when possible. I have the massage gun, you know, like I have a lot of things that I can do myself, but like I'm very much planning on stepping it up, and like, I need to do more yoga. I need to do more Pilates. I want to do like, I'm trying to get the IV drip every now and then. I'm trying to get it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to do all those things.
Whoa.
You know?
The drip.
The drip.
I love it. I love it. I love it, man. Listen, hit that YouTube University, get you a yoga mat, you know, start off with some basic poses.
Basic, yeah.
You know, hop on the page's page, you know, because she has a lot of that vinyasa, breathing and movements and stuff like that. So, you know, that's what we got. I'm trying to get Karen to put me on to some of that mobility, because our mobility game routines. I'm going to send you
a video of a guy doing mobility, because what's really popular right now is I'm a butcher the proper term of this, but it's like animal movements, like
yeah,
and that's part of mobility. And so it's like, but then you're kind of doing cardio at the same. It's like it's a workout. I'll send it to you. It's a dude that kind of has your build, and that nigga is flexible and hella good at mobility. And I'm like,
flexible, baby.
Right, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed.
Listen. Wow. We'll table this, because we got our guests in the building. So we'll be right back, y'all.
All right, we're back, and we have our guest with us, like we promised. Crystal Rosales.
Back in here, you feel me?
Oh, yes. Tell us. Welcome to the podcast.
You know what I'm saying? No, that ain't just Crystal. That's AKA Sober Bae, AKA the Garmin Princess, AKA the Stairwell Stunner, AKA the Sunlight Catcher. Okay, quit playing.
Playing. Give you the vibes.
Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah.
Listen, we are happy to have you. How are you feeling this morning?
Feeling good. Feeling excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me to come on the podcast. I have been listening since you guys started. And yeah, I just caught up yesterday because I was behind a little bit. So really stoked to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And you just said before we got on that this is your first podcast that you've been featured on?
Yes, it is. I remember when I first did, I think the first video or panel thing I did was for the Chicago Marathon. I kind of jumped into it. And so, yeah I've done panels and stuff on Zoom, but I've never done a podcast. So I'm excited.
Yeah. I just got to say, this is why we made the Runners Club podcast. You know, I'm just trying to give us some flowers here, because this is it right here, because these stories, the running community, right where we are, on the ground is so important. And it's these moments need to be kind of capsulized, something to go back to, something to be because everybody's different. And whenever we say I'm a runner, I think that there's just this general thought of what a runner is. Mm-hmm. And I really do believe with what we're doing is showing that just everyone is individual, every runner is individual, and does it for their own reasons.
Yeah.
And I'm super grateful too that it's with YouTube, because I feel like you guys are main leaders in the community, obviously. And yeah, I'm happy that my first podcast is with y'all, because I look up to y'all so much. So.
No, I've enjoyed watching your journey, because you yourself, I feel like, is a contradiction to what the stereotypical runner looks like. And you shared your running journey. You know, I remember watching the recaps from your friends and stuff like that, who were catching moments of you running what I think was your first marathon, but it was a virtual marathon. So you had, it was an unsupported 26.2 all around the north side in the city of Chicago, just getting miles and things like that. I want to know how you got into running, but let's start there. That first marathon, you know, that race day, how was that for you?
Oh, so yeah, I had originally signed up to do the Chicago Marathon through the charity One Tail at a Time. I rescued my dog from there. So I really wanted to run the marathon. So I was like, I signed up for the charity team. I didn't even want to like deal with the lottery. I just really wanted to do it. And then plus it was a cause I supported. And so, obviously the world shut down, races got canceled, and I needed to keep training to keep myself sane. Honestly, like I just needed something to like look forward to, because that was the second marathon that got canceled. The first one was I had originally signed up to do Milwaukee. I'm from Milwaukee, so that was
shout out to the Midwest.
Shout out to the Midwest. So yeah, I wanted to go back and like run my hometown, and since I never ran there, so I was excited for that. So when that got shut down, I was like, whatever, we're gonna run this marathon regardless. And the charity was like, yeah, we're actually gonna set up doing a virtual. So if anybody wants to do it, we're still fundraising and all that. And I had already like fundraised all my money, so I was like, let's go, because like obviously I wanted people to know that obviously their support was going to the rescue, but also like it meant a lot to me, so I wanted to keep going. So yeah, I trained all through the summer. I feel like with many running crews, everybody kind of created their own little pods, and they ran like instead of a bigger crew, everybody had their own smaller crews. So I was lucky to have some people from 3Run2 to like keep me going and also run with me.
3Run2.
Yeah. So, then race day came, and I was like, oddly, I don't want to say I was ready. Like I was happy. I was stoked. I was like, we're here. We're finally doing it. And it kind of really did feel like a race day. There was like, I think 20 of us doing it, and I was ready to go.
What time did y'all start? Do you remember?
We started at like 8. So it was,
I love that. So you didn't have to get up and make it downtown and find El Corral. All of that stress was gone.
Yeah. And so they like let us out like one by one. Like I think they had like minute starts, and I didn't know who was going to come out. I didn't know anything. My parents randomly came through, so that was amazing.
Oh, nice.
Because they're like to this day they don't understand running, because as like Latinos, like we don't, exercising isn't really a thing, like and so they're still like, what do they say? My mom says like, ¿por qué corres? Like, why are you running? But yeah, it was great. They had like little stations, the charity did, but people just showed out. Like I was trying not to cry most of the time, because people were just popping out of nowhere. We had a heartbreak coming in with the van. People I wasn't even expecting were popping up like in Logan Square.
Yes.
Wow.
It was awesome. And I remember it was 2 13.1 loops. So the first time I was
bad. 2 loops is fine.
It was, but then like the first time I was like, yeah, this is great. And then the second time I was like, oh no, I got to do this again.
Yeah, right. I got to do everything I just did one more time.
Yeah. So right before we hit the half, that's when like friends came with bikes. And so I had like my bike support crew. I don't know. People just really showed out. Like
they was getting angles of you, like from the bike, from the sidewalk, up on a 606. I'm like, this girl got a camera crew.
It was wild. And then like there was a point where, people were outside eating, and my friend Sarah was like, she's running a marathon. And like people are just like screaming or whatever. So it was awesome. It was a reminder that like the community has your back. And I couldn't have done that by myself. Like there was a part at like mile 21 where I had never run that far before. I was like, I'd only done 20 miler. Like I only did one. I didn't know what I was gonna like, and parts of like my body were feeling things I'd never felt before. And I just remember like Paul from 3Run2 being like, let's go, keep going. So yeah, it was great. It was great. It was such an experience. It wasn't the traditional race day, but it was a perfect like first marathon experience for me. But
when was that? Did you already say what year?
It was 2020, and it was the day the marathon was supposed to happen. That Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Great.
So like, word to your mom. Like she asked the best question. ¿Por qué estás corriendo? Like, why are you running? Like, why? What got you to do it, to start?
So I had tried to get into running a few times in my life. I was never a runner growing up. Like I remember when we used to do like, was it like the President's Mile Challenge? I don't know. I feel like that was like a thing in the Midwest where they would try to get you to run a mile in the little track. And I was not feeling it. I never did any sports or anything growing up. But I feel like when I moved here, I moved to Chicago 13 years ago now. It's going to be 13 years. So it's been a minute.
From Milwaukee.
From Milwaukee. I was born and raised there, but I feel like I grew up here in Chicago. Yeah. But I mean, I'll never claim it because Chicagoans will never let me claim it.
No. It won't happen. Yeah. I'm from Minnesota and I'm like, look, I've been here in Chicago for 7 years. I'm good. Yeah. Y'all can have it. Like, I love it. You can have it. I'm not trying to take it. It's yours. Okay.
So whenever anybody says you're from Chicago, I'm like, no, I'm from Milwaukee. I live in Chicago.
Do y'all have a downtown?
Yes. We do have a downtown. It's popping now that the Bucks won, but yeah, it wasn't popping when I was living there.
Made it cool.
Yeah. I tried to get into it a few times, but honestly, I remember the first race I ever signed up for was with some of my coworkers. We did the color run. Do you remember those? Or like, we're all white. Yeah. I didn't train for it. I'd never had ran a 5K or anything like that before. And I went out the night before and was like, oh, let's party. And I was like, oh, I got to go to this race. And they're like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. I hated every moment of that race. I was like, I'm not a runner on that. But eventually I tried again, signing up for the Shamrock Shuffle in 2017.
Okay.
I remember also like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get into it. And eventually I did not train because I was like, that's going to take time out of my whatever schedule. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to put in the commitment. And also like, I remember the night before too, again, I was out and was like, I remember being out. It was like the Loyola team was in the Final Four. And I remember I was like kicking it. And I was like, I gotta go over the race tomorrow. And I was like, again, what are you doing? But,
still don't know.
It was a horrible experience. I hated everything about that race. But then fast forward to end of 2018, I decided to get sober and sober from alcohol. So after a long battle of off and on trying to stop drinking. I stopped drinking. I started drinking when I was 14 years old, which is kind of rough to say now that, it's kind of sad. But yeah, it was like at a family party and I kind of just, that's how I had fun. And so eventually I feel like just like running sobriety, I tried a few times in my life, sometimes it stuck, sometimes it didn't, but I definitely needed to make a change. So in 2018, I decided to get sober and that was like a whole wake up call for me. I had to get to know myself. It was kind of like, I had to learn who I was, what I liked and any of that, because I feel like a lot of the times I was masking stuff or coping with alcohol, like kicking it. Like my whole personality was like, oh, let's go kick it. Let's do this and that. And And now it was gone. So I needed to find out like, and I also needed like to get a hobby. Like I had no freaking hobbies. I didn't know anything. So
partying is not a hobby, but a lot of us be treating it like it's a whole ass pastime.
Hobby. That is so true. Because look, just to quickly interject to that point though, is like that is their time to hang out with their community. Like people's, and that's what we do as runners is like we use it as an opportunity to hang out with our community. So like it's understandable that people would get kind of lost in the sauce a little bit,
Yeah. And Milwaukee or the Midwest in general is a very like booze heavy place. Like Milwaukee, there was nothing to
Midwest.
I mean, Midwest.
What do you want to do? Especially in these more rural areas. You're not in Chicago. What you gonna do but hang out and drink?
Yeah. So, I mean, Milwaukee has evolved a lot lately. I feel like there's so many people doing really cool things in the community, but like when I was there, it was just like, that's what you did. And that's how you have fun. So, it carried on through when I moved here and that. So I decided to make a change because, not only was it hurting me, it was hurting everybody around me. Like I was getting physically sick. And it wasn't even, again, like everybody's like, oh, were you like homeless or anything like that? Nah, I had a job. I was normal on the outside, but I was just like, it was just not serving me anymore.
Right.
So then, I had to get to know myself, figure out what I was going to do, I had all this free time now. I couldn't just lay on the couch and like cry my life away. I was, I was like, my life is over. I can't do this anymore. Like, so I decided to, finally try the things I've always wanted to do. I always wanted to get into running. What would happen if I actually put myself in, like put my all into it? Not let me sign up for a race and like randomly show up that day and figure out what happens. And that was the beginning of it all. And then I signed up for the Shamrock Shuffle again. I was like, I'm going to do this time. Like I went to the doctor and made sure I was all good. I went to the chiropractor. Like, okay. I was like trying to, like, I don't know. I didn't even know what I'm doing. I still don't know what I'm doing, but like, I was like, I remember when I went to the chiropractor, he was like, cause I had like knee pain and probably had like runner's knee at the time when I first started running. And he was like, have you rolled out your IT band? And I was like, what's an IT band?
Right. Where is that?
And so then he rolled it, or he like put pressure on it. And it was like the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And I was like, okay, this is a learning experience for going on. So yeah, I trained really hard for the Shamrock Shuffle, and I was so stoked on race day. It was 2019. Right. And I remember I was so proud of myself because I went the whole race without stopping. Hey. And that was like the beginning of it all. Like I had so much fun and I was just so proud of myself. And it was like, again, the beginning of like the love affair with like running. Yeah.
Wow. So I guess with running though, you like, cause you're saying how you didn't really know what you're doing in the beginning. So like at what point did you find your community and how did that happen?
So yeah, it was tough at first because I know that, when you first are getting into it, you're just like, it's intimidating to go to a run group. It's intimidating to even, because I've known of these other run crews I had friends who were in 3 Run 2 and other ones. And I was just afraid to show up. I'm like, I'm going to be the slowest person there. I don't know. I was just scared in general, like also making friends without like having that like social drinking aspect. I'd had the same friends for I don't know how many years. So I was just like, okay. It was kind of like scary to put yourself out there. I was already putting myself out there with, running. I don't know. I was really scared to even, and it's crazy because I had friends who were runners, but I was just scared to ask them. I don't know why. I think I was just like, they're going to judge me for not knowing, but now that's not like that. But, I randomly, like, I was still running alone and I'm like, I'm not going to lie. Like I was like, where is this runner's high? Like I felt it a little bit during the Shamrock Shuffle, but like, this is kind of like, it sucks. Right. Like, I was probably like running too hard. I was like, when does it get like fun? And so I remember I was like, I'm finally going to go to 3 Run 2 because I had seen them on Instagram. I had friends who were like cool with them. I had ran with them. So my friend Katie was like, yeah, you should go. And so I went, and it was like July of 2019. And it was just an incredible experience. I went to the Tuesday night run and everybody was just super supportive. They were running with me. We were talking the whole time. That was the first time I ever I remember I was dying while I was running and talking, but I was like, okay, I guess this is what we have to do. I was like, I didn't know people ran and talked at the same time, but it was a really cool experience. I
love that.
That kind of like led me into the community. But yeah, 3 Run 2 kind of became fam right away. I was excited. I was like, I want to go to all the runs.
And that was after your comeback to Shamrock Shuffle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I was like listening, like I would go there and like I would hear people talking about running, and I just got like really like I was like geeking out about it a little bit because I was like, what are they talking about? Like training and all that, like, half marathons. And I was just excited about all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like, man, like, I feel like it is a community that makes running like fun because running is hard and there are a lot more uncomfortable moments than there are fun moments. And I feel like people who just like get out here, just go run for themselves. I usually like just doing like maybe, some little cardio, just help them, stay healthy or to meditate, maybe like 2 or 3 miles and stuff like that. But for the people out there who are actually like training to participate in races, to maybe even PR. Those that are doing it by themselves have to be some level of like sociopath. Like it just has to be like you know what I'm saying? Like no emotional attachment. Like you got to be the Terminator or something. Like wow, because
I know
the community is what makes it feels good.
Yeah. And I know that like, some people are like, oh, I like to do my own thing, but like, oh, I like looked forward to every Tuesday, every Thursday. Like I looked forward to like even hitting little milestones with them. Cause at that point I'd only ran the 5K. So I think the first one I did was they had a 5K route. So I did that. But when I pushed myself to like the 4 mile, like everybody was stoked about that for me. And I was able to share that with them. It just, and like celebrate their journeys. Cause honestly, it also taught me that running wasn't just about me. It was about supporting other people and how I, grow as a person in general overall. So yeah, it was a great experience. And I'm so glad that I decided to join the community. Cause I don't know, I probably would have gave up if I would have been like, this still sucks.
Right. Go ahead, Courtney. I see the lips is puckering. She got a question. I see it.
Well, I just really want to get to know like the person behind the runner too. So I would love to know like what's your day job? Like what area of Chicago you live in? Like what's your life like?
Yeah, I feel like people are like, wait, what do you do? Because I feel like a lot of times too is like when we're running together, like nobody really talks about like real life jobs about running.
You just model in your stairway.
I need to know. Like
that started in the pandemic.
I was going to get into that.
That started in the pandemic. But I live in River West, which is kind of by Noble Square. So like that area. And I work for an e-commerce company. It's like a print on demand service called. It's based out of Chicago for a company called Threadless. I've worked there for 11 years now. So I've been there for a minute.
Unicorn. Who does that? Like, I feel like I've worked there for like 3 years and then I switched to another,
Yeah, I feel like
way.
You like the CEO at this point.
Right? You need to be the director or something.
There's a lot of us that have been there. Like my boss has been there for like 16 years. And so we just never leave. So and I work from home.
Okay.
I work from home, which has been a weird transition. I feel for like I'm grateful that I get to work from home, but I don't know. I miss being out and about. I miss that little water cooler moment with coworkers and all that. But more time for running on lunch breaks and stuff like that. So
have you gotten any of your coworkers interested in running?
I try. I got one person on my team and I try to get her to come to like group runs and she's just like, she came to 2 and she's like, I'm good. I'm fine.
It's so strange because it's like few and far between. It's like, you never know if it's going to stick or not when you suggest people to come. And then I always feel like when you ask people to come to your run club, it's like, or they say that they're going to come before you even say anything to them. And it's like, honestly, it's not I'm not trying to ask you to do anything. Yep. Like you don't need to come. I'm just saying you already know what the situation is. I'll be here when you're ready if you want to come out. But like, you don't need to make false promises.
Exactly.
It's okay.
Like I'll be sharing links in like the company like chat. I'll be like putting in like little, if it's like whatever runs going on, I'm like, hey guys, and then nobody like reacts.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, no.
They just talk right past
right over it.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I feel it's weird that I've had because I think some people are like, oh, I thought you just ran for a living. I was like, no, I don't do this.
That's what they think. Cause it's like you put running in your IG or you look at your IG and it's all running. It's like, then people are like, oh, that's all you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then part of the reason too, why, I was very open about my sobriety on Instagram and Facebook because I just needed that accountability when I first got sober. And I'm putting it out there and saying like, yo, I need to do this. I need to change. Or I remember I put it on Facebook. I was like, what am I doing? I'm out here putting this on Facebook with people I haven't even spoke to in like 10 years, but like, I just needed to put it everywhere. And the same thing happened with running. I got into it and I started sharing and people were like receptive to it and, you know, reacting to it and actually like sharing their tips with me. So it became, I don't know, it was exciting to just like share those milestones with everybody, like sobriety and running. So that was really cool.
Well, so like, I mean, to your point too, is that like running, a lot of runners drink and it's not just like, yes, people drink, but like runners drink. Runners love beer. Like there's this, you know, like for those who might not know, where I feel like at this point, everyone who listens to us is a runner, but like we're all familiar with, you know, you finish a marathon and then you have beers handed to you immediately.
A beer and a banana. And then there's water like a quarter of a mile away.
Right. Water's up there, bro. I have to keep walking. And so, but then it's like the justification is, it's carbs, you know, like it's refueling and stuff. And it's like, it's also, and like, I don't know, there's been a lot of conversation about like, do you get as intoxicated after a run? I think the assumption was yes, but then I think there's been articles that come out that say that it affects your body differently. So you're not like as intoxicated right away. Y'all can do the research. I'm just putting that little.
I've done the research. I've done case studies.
I've done the experience. That's what this motherfucker saying. Yeah, so, but it's like, especially after you go out for runs, like people sometimes say, "Oh, let's go get a drink." And so, and I think, you know, we've gotten some letters just saying like, "Hey, I'm like struggling with drinking but I am a runner and I want to try sobriety." And I think your just comments about saying it to your broader community to hold yourself accountable, I think is really great. Being honest with your community is really great. I mean, there's just like a sense of like, anytime that I've been honest with my community about like social anxiety or anything like that, there's always people in the DMs talking about, yeah, you're a human. Like, it's like when you're running, especially when you're a runner, I think that there is a sense where like you're like, people are like, "Oh, you must be super motivated. You must be everything." And it's like, yeah, but running actually keeps me sane. It's therapy, you know? And like, I'm curious about your experience with telling your community that you're going sober, being in a community that is helpful for your health as far as running, you know, running goes, but then at the same time is like, there's a lot of drinking within running. So how do you kind of navigate that?
Yeah, that it's tough sometimes, not gonna lie. But I feel like a lot of the times when you talk about, you know, maybe you're struggling with drinking, or just questioning that, right away you get in that mind space of like, am I an alcoholic? And like, you know, it's okay. You don't have to put any label on it. Like anyway, it's good that you're questioning your drinking or your coping mechanisms. I think right away people are like afraid that they're going to have that label and everybody's going to judge them and their life's going to be over, just like I thought. So yeah, when I first put it out there, I didn't label myself as anything. I didn't even know if it was going to last. I didn't know anything. I just kind of wanted to put it out there. I didn't give myself a goal. I wasn't like, "Oh, I'm going to do this for a month," or I'm going to I just put it out there. But the more I talked about it, the more, again, like you mentioned, Courtney, people were, you know, they were relating to me or they were supporting me. And they were like, "Yeah, you're a human. I've gone through this too." And so, you know, when I got into, you know, going to crew runs and all that, I think, you know, people had followed me on social, so they knew I was sober, but still, like, I wasn't out here like, "I'm the sober one," because I feel like a lot of sober people do that. They'll like let you know. They'll be like, "I'm sober," and I didn't want to be that annoying.
Like, I'm vegan.
Yeah, like that. Like I'm not trying to be that sober person. So I just wanted to, you know, sometimes it's hard to, especially as an adult, like make friends. So I really wanted to like be friends with these people. I didn't just want to go in and show up and leave right away. So there was times where I kind of pushed myself a little bit. Like I would stay at the bar and if somebody would offer me a drink, I'd be like, "No, I'm good." I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a Topo Chico," or like make sure that I had some other thing available. And eventually like getting to know people and just letting them know, just being honest, like, "Yo, like I don't drink." And also being okay with just being like, "All right, I gotta go. Like, I'm out." But it does suck because, you know, sometimes you don't get invited to certain things, you know, when people are out partying and it does suck. But
you feel like that's like out of fear? that, you know, that they putting you in an uncomfortable position?
Yeah. I remember one time somebody from the crew invited me to their birthday party, and it was at a brewery. And he was like, hey, I know you don't drink, and I was like, no, I'll come through. Like, you know, I appreciate the invite. And I thank you for even being conscious of that. Because a lot of people don't know any sober people, and you know, and it's kind of like, you know, is this going to trigger you? And like, everybody's different. But yeah, it's tough because you do want to make those friends, and you do want to stay there afterwards. And because I know that there was times when after crew runs, people were there to like 10 or 11, and I couldn't stay out that late because I wasn't out here, you know, taking shots of Malort like they were. But I tried my best. Like I just tried my best to immerse myself in the community, but also respect my own boundaries of like, I just can't. I can't. And then, you know, there was times where I got a little angry, I'm not going to lie, inside, or like resentful of, you know, after events, there being just beer and nothing else. And I'm like, I was like, can a girl get a LaCroix or something? Like, you know? And then, but then also like not wanting to be like that diva person of like, I need this. But it was just like, y'all offer beer. Why can't you just offer something else? Too, for those, you know, because sometimes you don't want to be
like that. Like they really just be like, here is a beer.
Yeah. And so
they're just flat ass water.
Yeah.
Right. Don't worry. I got you, G. Juice boxes at every race from now on. You feel me?
Yeah. But then it was also to getting to know, like, you know, again, I felt resentful, and I was like, hey, why am I feeling that? Why is it? Clearly I'm going through something that, like, you know, they can party, they can have a good time, but you can't. And that's okay. Like, you know, you got to just cut it short. So again, learning my own boundaries and, you know, and that, but it is tough. I mean, I've been sober for more than 3 years now, and it's still something I like deal with. Not as much as me anymore, but I'm okay with it now.
But, it seems like it's still new. Like there's, you know, like 3 years is still new. It's, even when you think about like being 3 years into running, like you're still just like, what am I doing? What's your favorite drink after a race then? Like ideally, if you could end the marathon, and the marathon, instead of handing you a beer, what would you prefer to be handed?
Well, there's so many like different like NA beer options, but one that's not like a beer, but it's made by Lagunitas, the beer company. It's called Pop Water. It kind of tastes, if you put like a little bit of IPA with a Topo Chico on top, it's like the best replacement of beer ever. I don't know.
Lagunitas? Okay.
It's called Hop Water.
Hop Water. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna do a little research.
Research. Courtney was the one who introduced me to like a non-alcoholic vegan fake beer, and
Athletic Brewery.
Right. It was like that's just a lot.
Look, Athletic Brewery.
A lot of things.
I think I love a light beer, and I feel like Athletic Brew is that what it's called? Or brewery is great because it's like, it's vegan. And then I was like, but isn't all beer vegan? But supposedly they like filter the beer with like a sack, like a pig sack, something, animal sack of something, which is wild. But anyway.
Wait, so it's still vegan if it's made in a pig sack?
No, I'm saying it's not, because most beer, I guess, is they use an animal product to filter out the beer, the drink. And so then that part of it, so then it's like it's filtering through something.
That's wild.
I didn't know that.
So then they don't do that with Athletic Brew.
Okay, word to my Muslims, y'all can't drink Athletic Brew, bro.
No, they can't drink regular beer, which means that they wouldn't do it anyways because they don't be drinking.
They can't drink regular beer? You're right. My bad.
They're sober in general, exactly.
I'm gonna shut up. You know what I'm saying?
It's haram. It's haram.
Haram. Sorry, not halal. Sorry. Oh my God. I can't believe I said that. I'm so sorry.
We all gonna get kids.
Educate. You didn't say no.
We all gonna get kids together. Let's go.
I'm sorry. You know what? I just thought about something though. And then I also had to be like okay with knowing that I was making connections with my community while we were running and like talking about other things. And I was like, you don't need to just like kick it with them to have fun and like discuss life or whatever. Because we were having deep conversations. I was talking about people about my life story while we were running these like 4 or 5 miles. And even then when we got into long runs, we are just like getting into it.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too with running is that like you spend time with people.
Mm-hmm.
You're not like, quality time outside.
Hours.
Mm-hmm. It's like what other activity other than like, I mean, even if you're on a bike, like I don't even know if that's really possible unless and then you can't get too close. It's different. Running is just, it's intimate. It's an intimate sport. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yes, it's different. So I guess I know, Ian, I don't know if you got some questions, but I want to know which you're doing next, Crystal, what you have your eyes on for the year, which, what's the goal?
Oh, so
for the moment.
Right now is the Chicago half. I'm doing the Find Your Fast cohort with all the other ladies.
Shout out to the Wind Runners. Shout out to Wind Runners. Kelsey on. I saw you watch also. I'm going to just do a quick little detour because the fact that you had us up in your living room for Kelsey's episode, that just warmed my heart. You really be supporting the fam.
I had the Kayla one on, and then I had that one. I went to Sydney and Gabe one. I was like really excited that it's like now I can see it.
I'll say too, Mike from Gumbo Fit, one of our fitness directors, was just like, y'all just changed the game with the visuals. Like that shit is fire. And I said, I know.
You're like, I know. Yes, you did.
I was like, you gotta see us. You gotta see the personality peep out, Yeah. You can't just be looking at photos.
And then our guest coming on here with the whole face done, got the gold chain out.
I mean, correct. You see how
listen, the nails. Can we see the nails? Bring the nails to the camera. Like,
I'm impressed.
Look, the fact you can get them that long and still function,
I was stressed. I was like, what do I wear? Like, I got my hair. I can't wash it today because I got to work out later. But I was stressed. Luckily, I did the Find Your Fast mile cohort in the summer. And so I'm very grateful that I got into the half marathon because honestly, in the summer, I did not I had a good half marathon, but I did not enjoy it. I hated every moment of it. I don't know, mentally, I just hated it. So I'm excited to, I've been really enjoying, like, again, working with all the ladies, like on the track. Cause I cannot do track workouts by myself.
I feel you.
That's like the one thing I definitely don't want to do by myself.
Yeah, like we were doing like bootleg ones. The three of us from the crew were doing a bootleg ones during the pandemic. We were like, we would sneak into Westinghouse and like in the morning and just be running around the track. And they were like, okay, I'm doing 400s. I was like, what is this? And also like I didn't know what a 400 was at that point.
Now we just go and get on the track and just do.
That's
something.
A street workout. That you just run on the track.
Yeah. They were like 800. I was like, what's that, twice? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's been an incredible experience, like learning over the summer, and then now the half marathon, and so training with them, and hopefully, if everything, I say hopefully because last summer I had a sprained ankle, so I always want to make sure I'm not doing the most. So hopefully I'll be running the half marathon in June, which I feel everybody's excited about. I'm super excited about it.
June,
yes.
I'm
super excited. It's gonna be fun.
I'm trying to race it. Trying to do.
You have a goal?
Around probably 140.
Ooh.
Okay,
trying to get spicy.
I hear taking names, passing.
I don't know. I don't know. Let's see what happens. But that's a nice little goal. You can be like,
claim
you got it. We
claim it.
Yeah, claim that shit.
Yeah. And then I'm not running Chicago. I didn't enter the lottery, so girl didn't get a bid. But
if you could, would you? These are the questions we ask.
Probably. Because I still got unfinished business with Chicago. I had a great first marathon. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
But race day was hard. It was hot. I I think it was all the jitters of that being my first marathon. It was just like, I put all this unnecessary pressure on myself, and I enjoyed it, but I feel like, I don't know, I want to do it again. And,
also, like, just to be kind of like that person, play a little devil's advocate with you, it was also virtual. So it's kind of like a little asterisk. You gotta go and do the legit.
No, I did. I did 2021.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm tweaking. Okay, my bad.
I know photos from that where I like you out here getting all content.
No, trust me, because people are like, "Oh, you ran a marathon before." I was like, "No, I did a virtual one. This is my first one." That's the asterisk one. So I still have unfinished business in Chicago. I feel like I just wanna go in and have a better race. Not that I didn't have. I don't know. It was weird because it was a great one, but it was also hard. It was scary. People were passing out left and right, and I was like, I don't want that to happen to me. So I overhydrated, but I would love to run that one again soon. But I am running New York in November.
Ooh.
Nice. That's gonna be real fun.
I also have a spicy goal for that one, and I know everybody, when I was talking about New York, they're like, you can't PR in New York. You can't do this in New York. And I'm like, and I was like, and I was being scary. I'm not going to lie. There was a moment where I was like, oh, let me sign up for this like Milwaukee marathon in October. Cause I was being scary. Like I was like, no, forget that. Like you are going to work your butt off all summer and you're going to do whatever. You're going to kill it in New York. And
you ultimately have a good time too. Like
that's what I'm saying. And I'm like, and I don't know. I got in my head a little bit because people were like, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I'm like, I can. I've done a lot of shit. I've done a lot of shit I didn't think I could do. So I know I can do this too. And even then, if I don't PR or whatever, I still got to run New York and I can't wait for that. So
I love that. So, fuck all that. Fuck all that smoke. Like, I can't do it. I mean, that must mean you really want me to do it. So here we go.
See what happens.
You see, like, it's funny because like running, I'm not like super competitive, but I do get motivated by that, like that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I do. I had a dude that I knew from Milwaukee who got into running around the same time I did. And he would always like comment on my training because he was doing this crazy training plan. He had this like coach that was an Olympic, whatever. And he'd be like, just commenting on stuff I didn't even ask for any comments on or whatever. And then one day it was like, I wasn't even training. I was taking a break and I cut a run short because I had shared that I cut a run short because I almost got hit by a car and I just wasn't feeling it. And then he was like, you don't have any grit and determination and blah, blah, blah. Like, Sam was at me and I was like,
tomato.
I know. And I was like, first of all, you know me from way back then and you know that's bullshit and like whatever. And so like, I just went in and I was like, don't you ever say that about me again. And I used him as motivation each time I like wanted to give up on a run or like had a hard one. I was like, fuck that dude. I just used him. And the crazy thing was that out of nowhere, he was running the Chicago Marathon. I was not expecting this. He showed up to the 20-miler, the heartbreak one, the one that started with the Gumbo Fit, the heartbreak one. And I was like, no, he's not here. I can't believe he's here. And I just used that as fuel again. And then he like, I was like, I don't know. It was like the universe like needed him to be there to like get me through that last 20-miler. Yeah. And so he ended up messaging me the morning of the Chicago Marathon and was like, good at Rosales. I was like, fuck off.
Fuck off. I already got it, nigga. What are you talking about?
So I use that sometimes as motivation. So yeah.
You have to. Yeah. I mean, running is like forever that. It's forever people saying, ¿Por qué corres? ¿Por qué? Like, why are you doing this? What's going on? What's the point? Oh, you got a community. I don't give a fuck. It's like, I mean, I shouldn't say that. People aren't negative about run clubs. I think ultimately everybody's just like, wow, what you're doing is really great. And then they'll be like, oh, I could never do that. But then there are people who are just like, what is the point?
Yeah.
And internally inside the community, there are like unsaid competitions or like judgments. And it's like, relax. Let me do me, like I'm
running
here
could be a little saucy.
Right. People can be really saucy about, where they are, what they're trying to do, what they have done. They love to show up and talk about their accomplishments. And it's like, good for you. Here's your flowers. Okay. I'm going to focus on me, and my goals. Either you trying to work together or not. Like, it is what
I've had some people like, come to events and be like, oh, that's cool, but I did this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, cool. Great for you. Thank you.
Right. Shit. Left my cookies at home. You should have told me. I'd have brought them.
Right. The next time I'll bring cookies for you, bro.
Right.
I think, and I love that more and more women are getting into the sport, like that are our age too. I think it's not. I think statistically, there's more women who run marathons than men right now. I think. I don't know why.
We busy. We got the shit to do.
I think it's slightly, just slightly over 50%. I'm talking about like 53% or something like that. But it's like, there's a lot of women who run, but also it's like running is sometimes looked at as like an old people sport, like a aged sport, like to be running marathons. And so for people in their 20s, even early 30s to be out here running, it's like, it's different. Like us starting this podcast again, like it's like the purpose is to say like, no, like we're like a part of the culture. And like, this is also something that we really enjoy doing. And so,
word to our analytics right now. Cause that age group definitely be listening. I was like, there's a lot of y'all that be running. Like, I didn't even know. I was wondering who's going to be listening to us and catching these references because.
Because you might miss one. You might, you know what I mean? You might just listen and not be a runner and then just not, or you might be a runner and then not be like our age. And then it's like, I don't know.
I read a piece recently, or like, I think right when I got into running, about how women are actually like getting faster as they get older. And so like, all these, it's incredible to see. It's inspiring because, it was hard to get into running in my 30s. Mm-hmm. Like, because I'm old. I am 36.
Not old.
It's funny. The other day when we were in we were doing a track workout, somebody was like, I'm the oldest person here. I was like, no, I am. And I'm not going to say it. And then she was like, wait, what? Yeah. What? And I was like, yep, I'm 36. But yeah, it was tough. It was tough to be 33 and be like, okay, so stuff, recovery takes a little longer. Yeah. I wish I would have got into this when I was younger. Maybe.
But your joints are better though. I think there's something to be said about people who start running later because they haven't completely deteriorated their joints. And so then it puts you in a good position to get faster. Because who was the woman that we interviewed during the marathon pregame last year who literally like got into running or like later in life, and then
she got kids. She a real estate agent.
No, she's a real estate agent, has children in her 30s, and then
that's D'Amato.
She's not a model.
She's D'Amato is her last name. She's Italian.
Oh, D'Amato. I was like, she's not a model.
Not D'Amato.
I'm like,
the baby.
What are you talking about? Yeah, like the baby. Like she's D'Amato. No. And she did well. She's an elite athlete.
Yeah.
In her late 30s, early 40s. I don't know how old she is, but it's just like that. Women they're getting faster as they get older. I think that I think women, I think a lot of like the disparities or like the gap between how fast men are and how fast women are is partially just like what we've been told since we were younger. And then as we continue to break down those binaries, I think people are going to be at a mental state where they're not going to like keep themselves from excelling to a place where it can kind of even us out to like the male body, because the women can do a lot of things that men cannot do. And I think that once we start unlocking that, we're going to continue to push the sport further. I know like, Swigs, she's an ambassador for Lululemon. She posted something about how like women who are actually on their period are in a position where they can take more of a beating on their body. So running a race on your period is actually more beneficial than we think.
Wow.
And so, and I was like, hold on, is it true? And I'm like, and so it's supposedly just like with where our body is at, that's like, because our estrogen level is the lowest at that point. And so it puts us in a place where we can like do more or like go harder in the gym. I'm not saying do that on your first day. I'm just saying, day 3, day 2, maybe, like, because my experience is I'm going to be on the couch, sleep, or in a bath. I'm not really trying to be running. But I'm just saying, like, I think the more we learn, we also don't know a lot about the woman body either. So
yeah.
I applaud you for just being out here and continuing to push boundaries, because you're also goals for me, because I've been seeing you out here, like, really, you've been PRing, you've been like pushing your distances. And like, I had no idea that you are only on your first like sanctioned marathon.
Yeah, I ran Indy right after, like 4 weeks after.
Right after. Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. You're really out here doing it. You're doing all that.
What?
Well, it was. Well, yeah, I decided to push myself. Like when I started training for Chicago and do the PFITS plan, the Pete Fitzinger one.
Yeah.
And I looked at that plan and I was like, this man really wants me to run 20 or 3 20-milers. Like, there's no way. And it was hard. There were times where I was crying and I hated every moment of it, but it paid off. Just having that time to just be by myself and like put those miles under my legs, like really, or on my legs, like really, really helped. And I don't know, it pushed me to be like, okay, what else can I do? Like I never thought I could do a plan like this, and I did it. So like, let's keep it going. So
yeah.
I
love that for you. That was awesome. That's awesome. I enjoyed talking to you. Oh my God. It was amazing. It was amazing. You really did speak to me about the accountability piece with posting, your sobriety journey and your running journey on social media. I mean, that's something that I've done with different things, especially like my fitness and weight loss journey, is talk about it here, talking about it, any opportunity that I have with my friends, posting about it on social media, just having that accountability is like super motivation, because now it's like, oh, people know this and like, I need to do this and stuff like that. So you saying that like really spoke to me, because I was like, am I the only person that kind of uses social media, for that extra push and that extra accountability partner and stuff like that? So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like a lot of us, like everybody, like, social media is to like crop out the sadness. That's what I like to say. Like, you only show like the good parts, but you got to be real and say like, I'm going through this, or I need help with this. And I feel like that resonates with people, because at the end of the day, you're not alone. Someone else is going through it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I try my best to, I had to, again, set some boundaries. Sometimes it's a lot. You can't, go through your own trauma and reliving it to help other people. But there are times where, if people really need help, like when it comes to running sobriety, like I'm always there. Like, I'm there to listen. I'm there to share my experience in any way I can to help. So I don't know. I just had so many people help me, like, with running and the community and all that I do my best to do whatever I can to give back.
So what advice do you have for anybody that's looking to become sober, especially in the running community?
Oh, that's a tough one. Not tough one. A good one.
You've given a lot of examples already.
No. I don't know. Just put yourself out there. I would say put yourself out there and don't be afraid to like set those boundaries. Honestly, like if someone's like pressuring you to do this or like stay out and do that, but like, no, I can't. I'm good. Yeah. But don't be afraid to, listen to yourself and know that, again, respect your boundaries. I keep on saying that, but, I don't know. I'm trying to think like what helped me the most. It was just like, I think I was excited to be in and join that community, be in there, immerse yourself. Don't think, maybe you can't kick it and party and all that, but like, or not, bring your own thing, bring your own hot water, bring your own athletic brewing. Don't be afraid to ask for stuff.
Yeah.
I was afraid to ask for stuff. I was afraid to ask. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I'd be at places and I'd be like, can I just ask for LaCroix? But no, I didn't. And eventually I did.
Yeah. Because, that's not where we're in practice, especially when you go to the bar and you're looking at the bartender and the bartender's like, oh, you just want sparkling water. Like,
yeah. Don't be afraid to like advocate for yourself. And, because at the end of the day, you're doing something that's, for you, bettering yourself and serving you. So don't be afraid to if you want to be that person that's like, I'm sober, do it. Like, do whatever works.
Sometimes you gotta
and
be.
like, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, sometimes you have to. I just like, my life really, and my running changed when I decided to immerse myself in the community. And, yeah, I mean, I never thought I'd be doing stuff like working with Jorge and Lucy and doing Grocery Run Club and, having our little run crew, like if I never had put myself out there. So
shout out to them. And sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I
no, I'm sorry.
Helmet for Grocery Run Club and Lucy. So, because I know you talked about Through Run too, but like this other community that you're a part of, like would love to hear about that experience and what you're doing.
Yeah, like so Grocery Run Club is a local nonprofit that provides fresh produce and also everyday necessities to underserved communities. And so, Jorge and Lucy did their thing over the pandemic. They were just providing so much support for, Little Village, Englewood, Lawndale. And eventually, people were like, is this a run club? It's called Grocery Run Club. And they were like, no, we're going to do that eventually. So when, it came around to like, okay, let's start, I add like fitness to one of the, like make that one of the pillars. They reached out to me and I was like, scared at first. I was like, am I really like set up to do this? I don't know. I've only been, going, to your run crews and other stuff. I was scared. And then they were like, no, I've been friends with them for years. So they were like, we wouldn't want anyone else to help us with this. And we, believe in you and we respect you and we love watching your journey. So I was honored for them to ask me to be a part of it. And I feel like we're still learning. We're still growing. We're doing bi-monthly runs. We're making sure that we're holding ourselves accountable. And one of those things was also like, putting up like, these are our save the dates. We're going to make sure that this is a thing. And one of them always has to be at least quarterly, a community give back. So, we're not, we want just people to come out how you are. Like, this is not about racing. This is not about, showing off your fit, like, whatever. Like, this is about, just moving with others. And also supporting a local business, because each time we have a run, we support like a local coffee shop or a juice bar or anything like that. And it's usually Black or Latino owned. So, we're still growing. We're still figuring out what our next thing is. We'd like to do something fun for our 1 year anniversary, which is going to be in June. So, we're still trying to figure that out because it's coming up pretty soon.
Nice.
But I'm excited. I feel like it's also helped me grow. I took like the RRCA coaching class or certification class just to like, I also wanted to geek out about running. Like I never thought like I would be so interested on like the physiology and like just the coaching aspect of it. I don't know if I ever coach anybody, but I just wanted to have that knowledge too. So like when people hit me up, I knew what I was talking about a little bit, or if like somebody comes to the run club and they're like scared, I can suggest this. And like, it was more about being a resource. So yeah.
I love that.
There we go. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. Yeah. I definitely love seeing your journey on social. What's your IG? Crystal.Rosales?
Yeah. Very boring, but
no, that's your name.
Right. That's you. That's who you are.
Their IG, because I'm like, people, they have their alias and then you start calling them by their alias and they're like, actually, my name is this. And that's like, okay. Yeah.
My username used to be something else that I had for years and years. And I was like, you know what? I'm starting to do certain things. I think I need to change it to something else.
Yeah. I remember it. I was talking about it earlier. I was like, what was her joint?
It was Murder Max.
Yeah, Murder Max.
But at first we moved to Chicago, everybody like murder. Like we had to grow up. So.
Right. Yes. Killing these Topo Chicos now.
Right. Exactly. So thank you so much for having me.
Yes, we really do appreciate it. And I'm sure our guests will really appreciate this conversation. Make sure to follow Crystal. That's with a C, okay?
Regular.
That's why I have to tell people when they ask me, oh, Courtney? I'm like, yeah, with a C, okay? The Kardashians ruined everything. But yeah, make sure to follow y'all, Crystal, and support Grocery Run Club. Through there, you will find Jorge and Lucy. 3 Run 2 be out here. You'll see Crystal there. So yeah,
I'd be everywhere. I try to support everybody. Yeah. I always want to make sure, because I know that, you got to support if you want others to support. Right. This is we got to be like this. So yeah.
This is true. I got to come up there to a 3-1-2 joint. I never been to a 3-1-2 run.
It'd be packed. It'd be stuff.
You guys are thick. Great. All right.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah.
We'll be. And we're back. And we had I feel like that conversation with Crystal was great. I really enjoyed Crystal's energy. Like, she's lit. I forgot to ask her about her dog, her Chihuahua.
Yeah, she had mentioned it. Yeah. The dog deserves his own Instagram. Like, the dog is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, when you follow her, you're going to see the Chihuahua. You're also going to see her her photos in the stairwell. She got that popping off in the pandemic, like she said. But she's fly.
Yes,
she be putting outfits together.
You already know. So if you don't know, we will remind you. You can listen to us any way you listen to your podcast, but you can also now watch us on YouTube. You can go to the Runners Club podcast on YouTube, subscribe, like, watch, get all of that like Crystal do. Throw it up on the flat screen in the living room, pop it up on your tablet while you're sitting there doing your work, whatever it is. But go ahead and get these visuals, because you don't want to miss out. Okay, the do-rag is velvet. I mean, what are we doing? The
do-rag is velvet. The personalities are popping. Like, the melanin is vibrant. Like, just come on and subscribe. You know what I mean? If you're not subscribed to the podcast, make sure you do that. Subscribe to the YouTube. You know what I mean? Go to our IG, Runners Club Podcast. No "the" in the front. We got to figure that out because we got some does and some non-does. So,
it's a lot. They be like, it's a lot of letters, my nigga. It's a lot of characters. So you got to chill. But like Courtney said,
Runners Club Podcast IG.
If you are
subscribe and rate
all of that, like, do all of that. Rating the podcast at this point is the most helpful and supportive thing that you can do. It is just as important as every single play. Okay. Go ahead, give us some stars.
Yeah.
We need the stars because we're trying to elevate. We're trying to do more. We're trying to get bigger guests. You feel me?
Just move on. Yeah. We're trying to get all up here. All the things.
All of it. I don't have much more. I made some coffee for this podcast and we started talking. I never poured a cup. So I've been looking at it. It's like
it's
right
like calling
there.
Your name.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm here.
Right.
I got that chocolate for you.
Right.
Like,
you kind of put some cream in it or?
Nah.
Like creamer?
I like it black. There we go.
I like it black. I like mine with Oatly. All right. Well, thanks again, y'all, for joining us at the Runners Club podcast.
You're killing me all podcast.
We will be with you next week.
All right,
be good to yourself. Get your miles in. Peace.